Well, good evening. Welcome to our preview here for our sale tomorrow here at Ottenwalter Show Pigs. And sorry for the little bit of a late start. We were waiting on a patient who just got her wisdom teeth pulled out to show up, and so she's driving the white pig there. You can blame her for the timing. But no, sorry, that's kind of our customary. We're always a little bit behind. We apologize, but we're very, very excited about this set of pigs that we're selling tomorrow. We've got the sale is going to be broadcast on CCI Live tomorrow, and it starts at 1 o'clock our time here in California, which is 4 o'clock Eastern and 3 o'clock Central. So we'll try to go through the pigs pretty expediently, but give you good descriptions of what they are. This first pair are lots 28 and 29. They are littermate gilts, sired by Major League. 29 is the white gilt, and 28 is the belted gilt. They're out of a really good young Last Dance sow. She's a Last Dance wedding night hired man sow. She actually has a killer litter of Game of Thrones pigs that we sold last fall that are in the Southwest. There's a white barrow that's been winning a lot of shows over there, and hoping he has a really good chance at one of these majors. He's either going to go to San Angelo or San Antonio. It's out of that same sow, but I guess what I'm getting at is she's a very good generator, and this litter's probably even stronger than the Game of Thrones litter. We've got another couple mates to show you as well, but again, 28 and 29, Major League Last Dance is the pedigree, 29 is the white one, and 28 is the belt.
Got a white division. Yeah, I think these two here certainly have a lot of upside. That Major League boar certainly is stamped them all across the country and definitely out there in the Midwest for us. And the white gilt there particularly for that particular division, showing them as a light cross or whatever you deem fits ideal for her. These two gilts, just their sharp look, their build, their presence, right out of the gate, the look that they're going to give you from the side, and just their extension from their blade forward, I think holds a lot of value. I think both of these particular gilts hold a lot of value later on down the road. Certainly ones that you can start out and show early, but yet I think have a lot of longevity left in them.
While we're waiting on these next couple, those of you guys that are sitting around here, if you don't mind, just go on Facebook really quick and share our live feed. That'll help get a little bit of exposure for the viewers on Facebook. I should introduce ourselves. My name's Russell Pedret. Work here at Ottenwalter Show Pigs, and we've got a special guest, Brendan North from the Midwest. He's an Iowegian now. He came out and... Well, he's from Indiana, but he came out to help us commentate and work the sale. So we're very excited to have him here commentating with me as well. These next three that just came in are lots 15, 27, and 30. The calico kind of headed pig is 27, and the black gilt is 15. And those two are litter mates. So again, the black gilt is 15. Kind of calico looking gilt there is lot 27. Those are litter mate. All Out War is the sire on those two. And they're out of really fun little Trump train sow. She's a first parity sow. She's a really stout, solid black female. Actually looks a lot like the lot 15. Just a big burly female. This litter was really, really fun. We've got a really fun mate barrow to show you here a little bit later as well. Pretty excited about those guys. All Out War was one of our favorite boars on the boar tours last summer, and we had a couple litters of them, and as we were sorting pigs, we were thinking we wished we'd have had a whole bunch more litters of them. But we do have that solid black division at the Revival and a couple of these other jackpots. That 15, it sure worked good for that, and then I do think that the 27 calico is going to darken up a bit as she matures and probably have a little bit more color on her hip and stuff as she matures as well. Then the other gilt's lot 30. That's the belted gilt. She would be a different league. Shine Again. She's out of kind of one of our older, better Shine Again sows. It's just a really good built female. Just a good bodied, basic, very nice legged, just very solid kind of gilt. Works really well for some of these county fairs in June, and certainly be a great gilt if you're wanting to go to CYAE or Expo and compete in the gilt division. And again, the belt, that would be lot 30.
Yeah, on that all-out war that he was talking about, that boar, not only was he impressive, but I promise you of the multiple amount of pigs that I've seen so far in the last month, these are bar none the stoutest animals that I've seen. They're going to throw a lot of bone, foot, and feature, as you can tell with both of these individuals. And if you're a bone freak or something like that that likes them really, really stout and dense, this is these are the ones out of a boar that you're certainly going to want to try to get one out of, because they're never going to lack bone. They're extremely stout, but yet not only being stout down low, they're going to have all the extras in terms of flexibility, build, and squareness off of both ends of their skeleton. I think the neat thing about both of those pigs out of All Out War is both of them come in a different package, and it's your preference on which one you like, whether you want one that's a little more immature and cute or one that you want that's a little more burly and stout. I think both of them bring a lot of different things to the table. That's a unique thing about some of these things that come out of the same litter. And again, with this belted, chromed up gilt here, certainly one that can advance you in a lot of different ways. I think three very, very good females here that you can do a lot of things with.
These next three are some icon pigs. We have lots 20, 59, and 60 have just come into the ring, and they are all three litter mates, and they're no doubt some of the smallest pigs we have to offer tomorrow in terms of their weight and size. And again, sire is icon. We've been extremely pleased with our icon pigs. These guys are out of a second parity cease and desist sow. She'd be a cease and desist, undisputed, just very basic built, correct made kind of female that they're out of. We had the chance to feed a couple icon barrows last year that we absolutely loved, and we used him a bunch. And we actually had a bunch of litters, probably 12 or 14 litters in our last set. We didn't have quite as many this set, but we continue to be very pleased with these pigs. They just look like you're going to get a lot of mileage out of them. These pigs will fit a lot of these guys looking for July and even August shows. Certainly could go into June if you want to, but you know, a lot of folks with that state fair mindset, I'd sure be checking these out. The kind of painted one that Harley's on there is lot 20. The more belted barrow over there that's on the smaller end that Allison's driving is lot 59, and then the taller one that Jackson's got over here is 60. So he's the bigger one of the three of them, no doubt. But study their videos and check them out. We're pretty high on these guys. We think if you're wanting to get a state fair age pig or state fair size pig, these guys are going to be pretty fun.
Yeah, I think ideal for state fair size, fits the mold of these ones pretty well. The size, the maturity pattern, and where they're at this stage of the game certainly fits the mold of where you're at there. That colored up one on the far side, I mean, I'm a sucker for a colored one, so that one's going to grab my attention right away. And from judging multiple shows and knowing what guys like, I mean, that's a memorable type of pig. If that thing does the right things on the feed bucket for where you get him to the end point, that pig's going to be memorable, and he's going to be stuck in the back of a judge's mind as soon as he hits the gate and comes out in the ring. But yet I still think all these, again, just the differences of how you like to feed them, and it all depends on what you're comfortable with from a feed bucket standpoint of how you want to make those things mature and grow and do different things in terms of feeding them as time goes on. I think all these three hold different value. You pick them how you like them, but I think these are very, very ideal for your state fair size type of animals.
Next three we've got in here, we've got some gilts. They are lots 24, 55, and 56. Kind of excited about them as well. These are also icon pigs, and they'd be very, very similarly bred to those barrows we just looked at. As you can see, they're a little bit bigger, but the 111 litter gilt, which would be, which one you got, Jackson? What's the tag number? 56. So the one that Jackson is driving, lot 56 there, that kind of half-belted pig, he'd be out of cease and desist 176.10. So essentially full sib and blood to those three barrows we just looked at. Then the other two are mates, and they again are 24 and 55. And they are out of 174-7. So 174-7 is also a cease and desist daughter. Very, very similar pedigree on all of these. As you can see, the gilts are a little taller, but study their basic build. We're pretty pumped about them. They're just square made. They've got a good reach off both ends of their skeleton. They're good on their front pasterns. They can get out and go, and yet they still have enough genuine width, and they still have a very good look. A lot of folks looking for CYAE pigs. I think they fit great to go in early August and be a little fleshier and be gilts for a gilt show. They certainly would also fit a lot of these county fairs we have out here in California because they've got enough muscle and power to be competitive. So we're pretty excited about these. I think you can do a lot of things with them.
Yeah, I think that's a very good thing to pinpoint down and talk about is just the general and basic build of these animals. And if you study them coming at you, going away, and their angles from the side, that's one thing. It certainly is what you got to have when you start out with these things. There's so many things that you can do with the feed bucket to add all those extras onto these things. And, you know, when I was showing and feeding on these things when I was growing up, there's nothing that I liked more than just getting some of them that were maybe a little greener and more immature, but yet still had the basic build, bone, and squareness and width all the way throughout the bottom part of their skeleton, because you can just do about absolutely anything you want to them. You study them from the side, their look and their build is certainly on point. Again, that icon boar, he's had a very, very hot start, and I think all these things are going to feed very well. I think three promising individuals out here within this trio.
'57 and '58 are coming in, and so these are mates to those three barrows that we saw just before that little group of gilts. And again, their pedigree would be icon, cease and desist, 176.10. Same kind of deal here. These two are probably a little more moderate than those three gilts we just saw in terms of their frame size. But again, just study their feet and legs. These pigs are just good built. They're going to be not pigs that grow into problems, and they should continue to stay together. Don't expect them to just get out and grow and go to a late May fair. I think they're definitely, if you've got a June show, you've got a July show, check them out. They're definitely CYAE size, or could go to a Midwest State Fair as well for a gilt show type of deal. But just good built, fundamentally good kind of pigs. 57 is the belted one, the thin belt, and then what's the other one? 58 is the kind of painted gilt. So again, 57 belt, 58 paint, and they are icon, cease and desist.
Yeah, I mean, obviously some mates here to the ones that we saw previously, and you know, just where they're at from their general stature and moderation and frame score. You can do a lot of things with these, and you can take them as far as you want, and just do whatever you'd like to with them. Show them as early and as often as you want to. Again, another one that's neat colored, that's certainly got a memorable look, and the extension and just look on the front 1/3 of their body is absolutely incredible. I think there's so many avenues that you can take from a show pig standpoint to get these things later on down the road.
Here's the lots 1 and 26 males that a lot of folks have been probably wanting to see and anxious to see, and so the story behind these, we put it in the description, but the mom is the sow we bought in the exchange last year from Heimer for $70,000. She's a kingpin sow that would be the dam of Simply Put at Laird's, as well as Move the Needle at Heimer's, and also the $130,000 gilt that Heimer sold at the King's sale 2 years ago. And so very, very fun sow. And what I'll tell you is we didn't expect or anticipate that she would be as good as what she was as far as functionality and productivity. She has had 2 litters now for us. Absolutely phenomenal in the crate. Great mama as far as raising her pigs. Very fattest pigs that we weaned probably out of all of our litters in this age group of pigs. And so we're very excited. I think we kept 5 daughters out of her first litter. Second litter, I think we've got 2 daughters out of. She didn't have quite as many pigs this time, I think probably because this tricked out semen we used was frozen. But again, we're very pleased with the quality of the pigs. You guys can see what they look like. This lot 1 here that Harley's driving, the kind of thinner belted male, has a very special look, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to find him. Both of these guys are selling intact, and so if you want to use them for a boar, put them in your boar stud or castrate them and take them to your fair or your show, whatever you want to do, we don't care. We're not going to double charge you if you want to keep them for a boar. But again, they are lots 1 and 26. Pretty excited about them. Tricked out frozen semen on the 13-3 Kingpin sow.
Yeah, I mean, Tricked Out needs no introduction. Just a boar that's done a lot of winning and ran a big swath all the way throughout the country. And that particular thin-belted one there doesn't really need a lot of explanation. There's going to be some pictures seen of him throughout the year. If he shows his Zabara, there's going to be a main picture as him if he hits a boar stud that's going to grab a lot of attention and gain a lot of semen sales. That particular individual right there is a very unique one, and I promise you where we're at this point in time, there's probably not going to be very many more direct Tricked Out prodigy that's ever sold again outside of being clones. So probably one of the later and last opportunities you're going to have to get one like that or any out of this litter. That pig right there is very, very special. And then, is made obviously one that looks like he's hit that feed bunk hard and looks like he's going to be ready to rock and roll at any point. But yet I still think very special litter here. Definitely a couple of them that you need to keep your eye on.
So these next 2, I believe, are lots 25 and 68. The one Harley's got, the kind of painted pig over there, is lot 68, and then 25 is the black pig. They're not mates, although they kind of look like they are. We can talk about Harley's first, which is the painted lot 68, which should be a 132 litter, and he's a heavy hitter junior, 147.8. So his mom's a really good little sow. She's had about 6 parodies for us. She's a junior, Sunshine and Whiskey. She was a show gilt that the Lane family showed several years ago at West Coast National. Actually, it was 2020 because that was the Arizona replacement show. She always has a very, very good litter of pigs for us. You can study this guy. He's got a big old round rib cage in him. He's very, very functional and good on his feet and legs, and yet being sired by a heavy hitter, he's going to come with more power and shape muscle-wise than probably what he looks like today. The black one, again, is lot 25. And he would be an all-out war dirty south. So we had 2 all-out war litters this set. We really liked both of them quite a bit. So he'd be like a mate to that lot 15 that we saw earlier, that solid black gilt. Same kind of build as the other barrow, though. He's got a big body. He's got big legs and limbs. We've got a lot of folks from Oregon coming down from Jackson County. I would suggest you guys check out these pigs. I think they fit really well, especially what the judge selected last year as far as just being big-bodied, functional, productive-looking pigs that got power to them.
Yeah, I'd agree with those comments. Stout mug, big-chested ones. They come with a lot of width between their eyes and certainly round about their body shape and their cage, and then, seem like they're going to have that feedability type. Certainly ones that aren't going to be very hard to feed. They're going to be productive. They're going to do the right things, and they come with the right bells and whistles at this stage of the game. Certainly ones that you can do a lot of things with.
So these two are mates to the two we just saw. 69 and 70 are their lot numbers, and the one Allison has got, which is she's in the peach-colored shirt there, is 69, and then Harley in the white has got 70. So 69, Allison's pig, is the 132 litter, which would be the heavy hitter junior deal there. So again, good body, just good built, good legged kind of deal. Lots of guys that are local here, Colusa County Fair people, study these pigs. These are perfect for that. Certainly they could go and show at a higher level and be competitive as well. But these guys are the right size. They're healthy. They're big bodied. These are going to be very successful, whether you're going to Colusa County Fair, or I know there's several of them in June, San Joaquin County Fair, whatever it may be. These guys fit the bill pretty well. Again, the other one, lot 70, his pedigree would be an all-out war. And that litter was very good. He's probably the greenest one throughout that litter, but I wouldn't discount him. I think he's going to feed well.
Yeah, I think from a feedability standpoint, the right length of body, the right type of build, the right type of look and presence, and then everything just points in the right direction on both of these animals. I think come with some similarities between the both of them, but yet can feed out the differences in them and certainly be very successful. I think two of them that have a very, very bright future wherever they end up.
Been pretty excited about these for the last couple days, going through pigs, and they're some of my very favorites. And I've been telling folks as I've been trying to get back to them today that we're pretty loaded on gilts, and typically our sales, the gilts are a lot better buys than some of the barrows sometimes. And we're fortunate out here that most of our county shows will let us show gilts. And what I'd tell you is do not be scared to buy a good gilt tomorrow, because they're generally a little better value for the money. And we win a lot of shows with gilts. We've got a couple of escapees here, guys. Good save. We got a couple good pig herders here in the pen. Hey, Pepe, maybe. Okay, you got it. They're on it. But at any rate, if you girls want to start driving pigs again in a sec, we'll talk about the blue one because Harley's on that one. Again, they're litter mates. They are Silver Bullet. And they're out of the Endgame 2015 South. So Endgame 2015 was our very favorite keeper gilt out of the October group last year. She'd be an Endgame American Spirit Jack Daniel's Wedding Night sow. And we've got a couple really good Silver Bullet litters in this set, but these 124s are my favorites. Again, lot 9 is the belt and lot 83 is the blue, but study these gilts. If you want to go to CYAE and get these gilts big and fleshy and try to win CYAE, I think have at it. I think the same story if you're going to a Midwest State Fair. I think if you want to go to your county fair, whether it be in June or July, I think you can absolutely buy these and have a good chance to win your county fair with them as well. They're kind of dual purpose, but this Silver Bullet deal has been awesome for us. This sow is a very, very good sow behind them, and visually looking at these pigs, these are some fun-looking gilts. They've got extras, and they're still complete. So we're high on them. Again, 9 and 83.
Yeah, definitely don't be afraid of gilt showing at these shows. We've had a lot of success with gilts, and sometimes, fortunately enough, they tend to be just a shot easier to feed and just have a little more fleshing ability to get those things to the end point than some bears do at some point in times. And both of these hold the same value in terms of look and just extension from their blade forward and body length and hip length and just the way they maneuver from behind and set and flex off their rear skeleton. I think two of them that could be very, very fun to put on feed and see where they end up.
So lots 17 and 18 are in the ring now, and 17 is the one Allison in the peach-colored shirts got, and she would be a litter mate to the lot 1 male. So she would be tricked out of that Heimer sow, and Dustin sorted this set because I was dealing with some of my health issues, and he called me when he was sorting this pen, and he says, "Hey," "do we want to sell a gilt out of that Heimer sow?" And I said, I don't know if we need to, and he kind of described the gilts to us, and we went ahead and decided that we would, and so he put her up in there, and as you can see, she's got a big old stout head, she's got a big old center rib cage in her, and like I told you before when we were talking about her mate brothers. The functionality of that female behind her, we were just absolutely thrilled with. We knew we were buying something special. We didn't realize just how productive and just how exceptional she would be in that regard. So I'd tell you she'd be a good show gilt. I'd tell you that her real value is probably going to be a sow down the road for somebody that's got a program or wanting to begin a program, but that's a pretty fun pig. That's lot 17. The other one that Harley's driving is lot 18. Be a 136 litter. I think she's a buckle-up sired pig out of Rowdy Rebound's littermate sister. So would be one of the kind of taller and more extended buckle-ups that we've had. She's got a big round rib cage in her. She's opened up really well. She'd be one that would fit, another one fit a gilt that would fit a county fair or like a Seaway type scenario.
Yeah, I think interesting thing on these two gilts here is both of them drop into the ring, and they're completely exact opposites of one another, and I don't mind that at all, and it's just all up to you on which ones you like to feed. Or what you want to put in your program later on. Like the tricked out deal is certainly one that you can certainly build a foundation around and do a lot of things with. And just her stoutness, shortness of back, moderation, and body shape is incredible. This other gilt here that's a little painted up on the top side of her skeleton, that's the type of muscle I like to start with. When they're small, you can certainly do a lot of things with them. A wild look, a good bend to her rear leg, the right type of set and function up front. I think a really fun pair of them here that you can do a lot of things with.
So we've got lots 10, 84, and 85 have just come into the ring, and Harley is driving lot 10. That's the black gilt with kind of white feet, and she would be a 132 litter gilt. So she's a heavy hitter junior. She'd be a mate to a couple of those barrows we showed you just a little bit ago. Pretty good, pretty fun gilt. That whole litter, out of all the heavy hitters, we've had a lot of heavy hitter litters. That's probably the biggest bodied, just fleshiest litter of pigs that we've had, and they look like they can get out and grow, and as we've been going through pigs the last couple of days, we've kind of been trying to brainstorm for some of our customers, because we do have a lot of customers from Oregon that show at Jackson County, and the judge last year just chose a lot of big-bodied, kind of stouter pigs. We think this litter fits the bill really well, so I'd study her pretty hard. That's that lot 10. Again, that's the one Harley's driving with the white feet. The one that Jackson's driving there would be the wide belted gilt, would be lot 84. And then again, Allison's got lot 85. Those two are mates as well, and they are slap happy out of line would be what their pedigree is. So they're actually the last two crossbreds in the sale. We're kind of excited about how good they are to be kind of some of the last options tomorrow as people are buying animals. The one Jackson's got's no doubt got a little more muscle and shape, and the one Allison's got definitely has a little more size to her, and probably could fit different scenarios. But study them. They're pretty fun litter of pigs as well. The slap happies, we've had quite a few of those, and what we'll tell you is the good ones can get really, really good, and we think these are both going to have a chance.
Yeah, again, maybe a little repetitive, but lots of different types and kinds, and certainly an advantage to some people. It's just all dependent on what you like and how you like to feed them and what works in your barn the best, and your feeding program and how you like to do it. You got a short-backed, moderate one with lots of body and shape. You got a one that's a little in the middle of the road compared to the rest of them, and another one that may be just a shot skinnier with the right type of muscle and an absolutely exotic look, but all the basics are there and check for all of them. You pick them how you like them and what certainly fits your program the best.
So we've got 49 and 50 that have just come in the ring, and these are the full swing pigs, if I'm not mistaken. They're the 123 litter, so they're full swing, hands to yourself on Mayweal's mom would be what their pedigree is. We just had a couple litters of full swings. We had one last sale and one this sale, and he's done a good job of adding some power and some shape. The mom of these guys is just a real functional, good-bodied female. We think these two can kind of be sleepers. We've studied them quite a bit in the last couple of days, and to be honest, I think me and Dustin have different favorites. But just study them for their lateness and maturity, and you can read them. They're going to be good in July, guys. They're going to be good in late June, July. These are the kind of pigs that you can kind of take home and feed on, and they've got a square build. They've got a good look. They've got a kind of a longer neck from their shoulder blade forward. Just good solid barrows. The one that Allison's got over there, I think, is 49, and then the other one's 50. So kind of the wider belt would be 49. Thin belt there is 50. So again, they are full swing, hands to yourself.
Yeah, I think lots of similarities between the pair of them that you can certainly argue back and forth which one might have the advantage in a spot or two rather than the other one. But yet the advantages that both of them have, just the shortness of body, but yet the look and extension up front, and then all these things staying very true and square in their build, and having the right type of look is very unique. I think it's going to be a unique opportunity to watch both of these two feed out throughout the year and see which one progresses the best and notches out the other one here in their endpoint.
Here's a fun pair coming in, and we've been studying pigs the last couple days, and I'd be lying if I didn't tell you this pair of barrows was a couple of the ones that we've really kind of keyed in on and just tried to focus on and just figure out which ones we think are going to be some of the better ones come July or August. And no doubt these two are going to be very, very good in our opinion. Allison has got 51 and Harley's got 12. So 12 is the thin-belted kind of hamp-marked barrow, and then Allison's got the kind of chromier one over there. We'll talk about 12 first, which is the hamp-marked barrow. He's a 114 liter, so he'd be a heavy hitter. Hands to yourself, 67.9. We've got a lot of heavy hitters this set. No doubt he's one of the very better ones. Absolutely love his front 1/3. His skull and his chest coming at you is very, very good. Get in behind this guy, and you just read him as a pig that just needs to come slow, and you think he's going to have all the right things come July or August. So we're high on him. 51, on the other hand, that Allison's got over there. A little different when you get in behind him. He looks like one you can be fed a little bit harder. Big legs, and we'll show you his sister here in a little bit that's got even bigger legs. But what his story would be is he is sired by Different League, which is our boar here that we probably should have had a lot more litters out of than what we did. And then his mom was a gilt we bought at OIE. We bought 2 litter mate gilts at OIE last year. One of them was the gilt that won the Coba show, that was grand overall at Coba. That was very, very fun gilt that won stuff all summer. The other one was her littermate's sister. Well, the littermate's sister had a little bit more to her as far as muscle and power. That's what this one's out of, is the littermate's sister. So both of those females we've been excited about, and we think they're going to be major contributors to our herd moving forward. But this one is out of the first litter out of that sow, so she would be a rightfully so. Echo would be the pedigree on the mom, and again, sire is Different League. So you guys study them for what you think they are, but we're pretty excited about this pair.
Yeah, I'd say excited, maybe an understatement. 2 of them that drop in here, the traditional hamp-marked one there. Heavy hitter is a boar, is just done an absolutely incredible job and has had a lot of winners over the past 2 months here in terms of those major shows. And that particular bear there, to have that type of a head and cuteness of look and jaw in the front 1/3 of his body, but yet be a man from his blade back, and to have that type of bend and set to his rear angles is, I think, incredible to put together. And that right there out of that boar is what they need to look like as babies. And then this other one that's a little wider belted one. If you just want to talk about stints, burly, and stout everywhere, that's the one for you. He comes at you wide, he comes at you dense, he leaves you stout and with a lot of bone and feature, shortness of body, lots of rib cage. I think that thing can be an absolute man when it's all said and done. 2 very neat set of them here to study.
So these 2 may not look like litter mates, but they are. They are lots 11 and 52, and I think one of them was on the front end of the mom's underline, and the other one was on the rear end. But it really doesn't matter anymore this time of year. You just kind of study the pigs for what they are and figure out where they need to fit. And I think one needs to show earlier than the other one. But what their sire would be is a Silver Bullet, and like I've kind of said before, we're really excited about the Silver Bullet pigs. The mom of these guys would be Brother Love 263.6. She was a pretty fun show gilt that actually won the Oregon State Fair a couple years ago, the year that Tad Knight judged, and she's one of the most heavy muscled sows on the farm. Does a good job. She's a Brother Love square edge would be what her pedigree is. Lot 11 is the blue male, and lot 52 is the bigger kind of painted pig. Pretty excited about these. Remember, we've got these light cross divisions out here, and Silver Bullet's doing a good job of making these just neat looking light cross pigs that should do really well. You know, whether you're going to Revival or CYE or Indiana State Fair or whatever, that's a pretty fun looking light cross barrow there. He's stout. He's got a sharp head on him, but yet he's got some hair and he's got some feature to him, and he still has a square build. We're pretty excited about that guy. His mate brother over here, he just needs to slow down. He's in the chip barn where it's 75 degrees and he's on some sail burst, and take that one home, and I think that's a different creature, and I think that one gets to be pretty fun too. Look at his build. You get on either end of him, he's square. He's going to have a big back in him. I think a pretty fun pair of pigs here. Again, they are 11 and 52.
Yeah, obviously differences within the litter mates here, but the the chromed up one here, certainly one that you, from a feeder standpoint, you can't ask for much more than just being one that's going to be extremely easy to feed. There's not going to be much that you need to do to this guy. He's already got all the extras, and stout and powerful. You can certainly take him home and just chill him out just a shot, let him be a show pig, and those are the fun ones to take home because they're going to do nothing but get better and better every single day. And I think one that holds a lot of value from that standpoint. And then this blue belted one here, that particular division, I certainly appreciate it back in Indiana that we finally implemented it within our show, and I know a lot of places have that now, and I think that one certainly is big league in terms of the blue division, but yet I'm not afraid to take that one up against belts and dark crosses all day long when it's all said and done. That one right there can certainly play in that division and make some people scared coming across the ring to show for your overall honor. I think a couple very, very good ones there in that pen.
So we didn't plan it this way, but these are their littermate sisters. They're just in the next pen, and so those two males we just saw, these are their sisters. They are Silver Bullet, Brother Love, and like I say, that mama was the champion at Oregon State Fair a couple years ago, and pretty fun pigs here. We've been really high on the lot 3, and we'll show you her sister lot 4 as well. The one that Allison's got is lot 3. Then the one Harley's got is lot 53. I think lot 4 is in the next batch, and they're all 3 litter mates. But study these girls. The one Harley's got is the greenest of the 3 mates. That may not be a bad thing. That pig could be pretty fun. CYE Guild or Indiana State Fair Guild would be a bit of a sleeper in the sale because everybody's so focused on the Blue Sisters. And then study the one Allison's got there, and that one looks pretty fun. If you're wanting to go jackpot at Revival and win in the light cross division, you might want to look at this pig. If you want to show at CYE or wherever and try to be competitive there. I think last year we had champion and reserve light crosses at CYE in the Gilt Show. Not sure I was as excited about those as I am about this one today, last year at that time. So pretty fun pig. She's easy to see that she's kind of special. Don't discount the belt either. Or the Chrome Guild either. She's pretty fun too.
Yeah, Chrome Pig's certainly one that's a little green and immature and maybe just not as woofy or ready as some of the rest of them in here, but that's all right. It's always fun to snag one up that may get overlooked and certainly be the best one in the end and have a very bright future. The blue gilt out here, that's a neat one to look at. For me personally, the way that I look at them as baby pigs, I think that one right there looks like an incredible big one, and I may not necessarily look at her as I want to show her here in the next month at the earliest jackpot you possibly can, but I just read that one when I see that thing at 250 pounds to 300 pounds. That one is going to be ready to rock and roll, and I think everything matches up so well and blends together so smoothly for that particular gill. I think she's going to be an incredible one when it's all said and done.
So in the ring now is lot 4, who's the other mate. That's obviously the blue gilt, and then the calico would be lot 54. And to talk about the blue gilt first, again, Silver Bullet, Brother Love would be her pedigree. And when you've got her in with her sister, you can just see the differences. This one's a little thicker. Sister might be a little bit longer neck, but this one fits the bill for a lot of things. And these blue gilts, again, we're out here in California. We've got all these county shows. A lot of them some of our very most competitive ones are in July or 1st of August. A blue gilt like this could be a deadly weapon to have if you're wanting to go to one of those, such as Stanislaus or Napa or any of those right in there. Jackson County Fair, Oregon's in the same boat. All their fairs, their better fairs are in late July and early August as well. Check out this lot 4. She's pretty fun. She can come slow. She's got all the muscle in the world, and she's going to be an absolute powerhouse. I think she's pretty neat. The other gilt is lot 54. Again, that's the calico kind of. She's a slap happy is her sire. She is a 133 liter. So her mom would be out of line 191.1, which is an older sow, but one of the best ones we've had probably in the last 5-6 years. That sow's an out of line wedding night. Great pedigree behind her. She's the best gilt in the litter. She's a big-bodied, just real functional gilt. She looks like she could do well on the jackpot circuit, but also if you're wanting to go to a gilt show as an endpoint, she'd probably fit the bill pretty well.
Yeah, that blue one compared to mates, you're definitely not going to have to worry about stout mass and power and width all the way throughout. Certainly one that you can just chug along throughout the summer very slow and just watch her be progressive and very good and do all the right things. This calico over here, certainly in a pin with one of those mates in that litter over there, and certainly could maybe get overlooked. But yeah, I think her quality reads so true. This calico gilt kind of looks like one I got here from a few years back that ended up being champion Division I at Indiana State Fair. Got the same type of mold, bone, build, and feet. Certainly has the length of body and expression that one did. I think holds a lot of those values about that one that I snagged out of here about 4 or 5 years ago that did nothing but get better. I think a neat pair of gilts here that can certainly offer you a lot of value.
Well, as promised, we have more gilts, and like I said, we're pretty deep on gilts this sell, and more Silver Bullet gilts as well. So these are the 120 liter gilts. They're all 3 litter mates. They are sired by Silver Bullet on My Intention 194.8. She would be a My Intention May We All, and the grandma would be a litter mate to the Grand Overall Gilt at CYAE in 2022 that was shown by Paige Vieira. So very, very good female line behind this deal. This is her very first litter, but we're pretty excited about them. Their tag numbers are, what's their lot numbers here? 45, 46, and 44. So Harley's got 46, Harley in the white. Jackson over there, I think, has 45, right, Jackson? And then Allison over there in the peach has got 44. Again, Silver Bullet, My Intentions, their pedigree. Again, I just can't tell you enough good things about this Silver Bullet boar. We've got a lot of good pigs out of him. The last set and this set as well. They're good built. They're not messed up. Silver Bullet was a boar we sold to Laird's that was very line-bred best man, come out of Kurt Morgan's, a lot of Kurt Morgan's genetics. And he's just been flat working. So again, 45 is probably the most extended one. That's the one Jackson's got. I can see that one being really, really fun when she's big and fleshy. And then the one Harley's got is 46. She's probably got the most muscle and shape at this point. One Allison's got is maybe kind of in the middle of the two of them, but I like all 3 of them. I think they should certainly fit for a variety of scenarios.
Yeah, another prime example of just having three of them that come in a different package than the rest of them, and there's certainly nothing wrong with that. Some people are going to like them a shot more extended and good looking. Some of them are going to like them with a little more muscle and a little more shape, and then some of them like that middle of the road type of animal. And it's all about what you like in the feed bucket, and certainly what you can do with them and how you can progress them throughout the year. But all of them hold value in different ways. It's just your personal preference. I think three really neat blue ones in here that you can certainly study and break down.
'42 and '43 have just come in the ring, and these are mate gilts to a couple barrows we showed you earlier that we kind of thought would maybe be a little more under the radar, but they are the full swing sired pigs, so they are full swing, hands to yourself, back on Maywell's mom. And these are just good, basic, good-bodied gilts that have some muscle, have some width to them. They've got a good look, and their color pattern's very good. And again, a lot of these guys with June fairs probably need to look in here. If you're locally here in Colusa, we've got a judge that's probably going to pick a black, good-looking pig. And these would fit the bill pretty well. They're the right size, and they're the kind that you can just take home and feed them, and they're not going to get messed up. Kind of excited about them. They're a good pair. Again, full swing, hands to yourself is their pedigree. And the one Jackson's got is 43, and the one Harley's got is 42.
Yeah, I think a pair of them here that come a little more ideal in terms of type and kind and the way that they're built and what they represent out here. Really good from a bone and foot and feature standpoint. Really good from a width and muscle and body shape standpoint. Have all those added extras that you certainly can't get with the feed bucket. I think two of them that represent a very good pair here that can do a lot of positive things.
So 47, 48, and 23 have just come in the ring, and we'll talk about 47 and 48 first, which are the two girls are driving here. Harley's got 48, Harley, and Allison in the peach-colored shirt's got 47. So they're 114-liter pigs. They're mates to that Lot 12 barrow that we talked about earlier that we're really high on. So they'd be heavy hitter, hands to yourself. Pretty neat little gilts. That litter is one of the smaller litters size-wise in the sale. Study them in the way they're built, and they've got a lot of muscle. They've got good pin width behind. They've got good shape up high. And they just look like the kind that can kind of be fed a little bit slower. Those of you guys with July fairs would certainly, I think it would benefit you to really check them out. I think they're going to be a really, really nice pair. We've gone back and forth, had them out of the pen several times. To be honest, we're not really sure which one we like better. They're very, very similar in their build and just their general look and everything. Pretty neat pair. So again, those are 47 and 48. Then the one Jackson's got over there, that's lot 23. And so we showed you her mate barrow earlier. This is that really big-legged gilt I was talking about earlier. She'd be a different league, rightfully so, Echo. Her mom was the gilt we bought at OIE this last year, and this is her first litter. She'd be a mate to the Grand Overall at Coba, and she actually placed higher at OIE than the Grand Overall at Coba, but we like both the gilts a lot and bought them both. And this one's just got giant limbs. When we sorted the set, we thought that her rear legs are almost freakishly big. Honestly, when you're a pig farmer and you see pigs with legs like that, you kind of wonder if they've got strep or something. And she's been treated several times, and to be honest, we don't think that there's an issue there. She's not sore on her rear legs at all. She's got big legs, and so buyers, you check her out and make your own decision what you think there. She's got some super neat look to her, and she's moderate frame like her mama, and just looks like one that can be special. So again, she's lot 23.
Yeah, I think that gilt right there with those giant rear legs could certainly make somebody look smart when it's all said and done. It's hard to put those things together into one package, but yet she might be small, but she's mighty and holds a lot of value from a forearm, rear bone, and foot, and just muscle and pattern standpoint. Still got a cute look, but yet just reads so good where the endpoint ends up being. The other two individuals in this particular pin, just very sharp and tall-shouldered and very neat about their look on the front one-third of their body, and have all those extra pieces from an extension and build standpoint. Differences in here, but yet I still think there's a lot of positives. I think very good from a feedability standpoint within these three.
So these are 38, 39, and these are a couple of the bigger barrows in the sale, and this would be another pair that I'd encourage you not to overlook, especially if you're going to the Colusa County Fair or you have a show here in June. These guys are going to fit the bill really well. They're sired by Different League, our boar here, that is a very moderate frame boar and has done a good job of siring a lot of bone. Excuse me, and then their mom would be a litter mate to the mom of the 114 litter. That pair of sows, the 67 litter sows, they are hands to yourself, lock it up, visionary, and they always have very, very good pigs. And to be honest, we can't really tell the difference between them. We have to read their notches. They're just identical sows. But both of them did a good job of making high-end pigs again for us this set. What's the tag number you have there, Allison? 39 is the one Allison's got, and then 38's the one Harley's got. They're similar in their belt pattern as well. They're both thinner belted, but Allison's has kind of got the thinner belt on the right side. Again, big, kind of taller pigs, and a little later maturing through their center body. But I'd tell you, based on their parents, especially their dad, who's a moderate frame guy, these guys are going to bulk up just fine. And again, they're perfect size for a June show. If you're wanting to go to Expo, these guys are pretty right on track there for that deal, I would say.
Yeah, I'd say right on the money in terms of getting those things ready to rock and roll a little earlier on in the show season. I think a couple of them that not going to be ones that you hold on and try to make withstand the long haul all the way to state fairs, but yet I think their biggest advantage is take these things home and feed on them, and maybe even push on them just a little bit. You can get them right to where you want them, and not hold them back, and get those things ready to rock and roll as early and as soon as possible. And I think they'll fit the bill for those early fairs there that you can roll them into.
So these two black barrows are litter mates, and they're the barrows out of our really good up-down 124/8 sow, and they are lots 40 and 41. And so that 124.8 sow, we've got several daughters out of, and actually one of her daughters is the damn one of the better litters in this set as well. But she was the reserve grand at Arizona Nationals in 2019, one of the very best gilts that I've ever fed or been around, and she's turned into a great sow. She's had a lot of litters for us. She only had 4 this time. And we kept both the gilts. We put both the males in the cell, and they're both black, unfortunately. But study them for what they are. Again, the sire's heavy hitter. They're very good pigs. And again, June endpoint, whether you're going to San Joaquin Fair or World Pork Expo or Colusa County Fair, these guys probably fit that pretty well. The one that Jackson's got over there is 41, I think, right, Jackson? And then Harley's got 40. So Harley's is probably the little bit thicker one. I think Jackson's has probably got a little bit later of a maturity pattern to them. But study them again. That feet and legs and pasterns are very good on these pigs. And when you can do that, and you know they're out of a kind of a power bore like heavy hitter, generally they have a bright future.
Yeah, I think a hard division here to not only just make pigs out of, but I know it's not necessarily ones that you certainly try to breed, but yet you tend to get them with how you breed things, and they're still hard to make really good. And you know, the division of that particular color is certainly one that can be very, very fun. And you know, I've been fortunate enough to win a couple shows with pigs of this color, and when they're real good at this particular stage of the game, it can make them fun all year long. I think both of them hold a lot of value and can certainly do a lot of fun things for you.
Here's another pair we've been excited about, and it's always fun this time of year. We love to look at some of the more elite barrows and kind of just sit and talk about where we think they may wind up and be best at as far as time frame wise and show wise, and these two have been hot topics as we've gone through the pigs the last couple days. They are 36 and 37. The little one that Harley's got is 37. Bigger one that Jackson's got is 36. They are sired by a different league. Again, our herd board here that's done an outstanding job, and we truly wish we would have bred a heck of a lot more sows to them than what we did for this first go. Their dam is 109.7, so she'd be Rusty Cage back on that up-down sow who is the dam of the 2 black pigs we just looked at. So very, very good sow. She was actually just a keeper gilt, and we kind of last minute decided we wanted to go to a jackpot last year with a couple of the boss's grandkids, and so we grabbed this gilt out of the keeper gilt pen and fluffed her up in the show barn for a couple of weeks, and she went and she was champion hamp, and then we brought her home, and this is her litter of pigs. So that's the mom behind them. Again, sire's different league. Look at them. I think even though the one that Jackson's got is bigger, I think that one can feed into late July or early August. He doesn't need to come very, very fast. Obviously, the smaller one Harley's got there can go to late July or August. And we're not sure which one we like better. They're both neat. Harley's is probably a little hairier, a little shaggier. The one that Jackson's got's probably got a little more bulk and power up high. Going to be fun pigs, and going to be fun to see where they wind up and how good they can really be.
Yeah, two totally different from a size standpoint, but yet I'll argue with anybody that I could probably bet a good amount of money that both of these pigs will show at the same weight when it's all said and done, especially with how both of them would be fed if I had the option to feed both of them. I think the big one's stout, muscular, wide, and very level in terms of his look, and has all those extras. Little one may be a little greener and skinnier and not be as woofy and powerful as the other one, but that little one I think holds so much value from a feet and legs and build standpoint. The cushion that he's got to his rear set, his chest and squareness and knee, and then everything coming with it. I think a very, very fun couple of them here to study.
So we haven't had Durocs for a couple years. We had a herd we were pretty proud of, and a few years ago when we had so many numbers, we decided we'd sell out on some of our purebreds, and so we're just kind of getting back into it. But this Duroc is lot 14, and the other big barrow in the ring here would be lot 2. And to talk about the Duroc first, we saw his mom at NJSA Western Regional. Would have been in 2022. It's not obviously not this last November, but 2 Novembers ago. And then she went on to Arizona Nationals, and she was shown by Hannah Slate and bred by Travis Platt. And we thought that she was the best. I personally thought she's the best one at both events, hands down. So we wound up buying her at Arizona Nationals, and we bred her to. Shoot, I should know. See, look at my Duroc pedigrees. I think Triple Threat, which was the Champion Board Expo last year, Statement Day, son, and this is what we've got. This is the best male in the litter. We think he can be pretty fun. He is definitely Expo sized. One thing that I will remind you guys here locally, we do have a purebred show here at Colusa County. And it's not uncommon for a purebred to potentially win a show. We've seen Durocs win county shows out here before, and that would be a fun project for somebody. Durocs are good for a county fair level like that, but this one's certainly good enough to go to Expo and try to get something done as well. Lot 2 over there, Harley's got. Would be a 98 liter heavy hitter, hands to yourself, 159.11. Very fun pig. He's got a couple mate barrows as well that we like a lot. He's no doubt a bigger one. He can go to Colusa. He can go to probably any time in June, and I know there's a few folks still looking for some Mayfair pigs. He could probably fit that scenario as well. He's got a really good mama behind him that actually raised the sales starter at this sale last year also. So a fun pig. Again, he would be lot 2.
Yeah, I think that cross as well, very stout and bold and lots of muscle that you could certainly 1-to-1 and can show early and often and get to your end point as quick as you want. And then talk about this red one. I think where he needs to be at this stage of the game is right on where I like him personally. He doesn't have that extra just raw muscle and just expressive width at top in him right now. I personally like that in all the red ones that I've fed, because when you study this one in terms of his bone, those are very, very large limbs in his rear skeleton, and they bend and set and plant in the right fashion. That thing's got an absolutely incredible hip and hind leg for a red one. He's still got look. His body shape's bold. With his width at the ground and surface and the under part of his cavity, that width and muscle is going to come. This is how I like them to look like when they're smaller at this stage of the game. I think his upside's incredible.
So here's lot 2's mates, and they are lots 34 and 35, and we're pretty excited about these guys as well. Lot 34 is the one Harley's got, and then Allison's got 35. And again, the pedigree is heavy hitter, hands to yourself. That hands to yourself sow's just been a really good generator. We have quite a few of those hands to yourself sows. We've actually been through quite a few of them and kind of weeded them down to the very high end of them. And like I say, this one, the mom of these, the 159.11, she herself has several daughters, and she made the sale starter in our sale last year. So very good female behind them. Study these guys. They're a rib shorter bodied than their brother. They are muscle pigs. They're powered up. They probably fit a fair that does not allow you to feed Paline really well. We all know which fair that one is in Southern Oregon because they've got a lot of power. They probably fit a jackpot scenario really well. If you've got a show in July, they probably fit that pretty good too. We're pretty excited about these guys. Allison's is a little shorter bodied. Harley's has probably got a little bit more extension to his blade forward, but pretty exciting pair, 34 and 35 heavy hitters.
Yeah, like I said, this boar has been so popular, and they've fed so well, and they all seem to come on right when it matters, and I think very popular. And these two hold similar values in terms of body length, top side width, and power and shape out of the backside of their blade. Just the width that they have in their hip and the power that they have from behind. I think two of them this can certainly be very promising on a feed bucket as you start these things on throughout the summer.
So here's the mate red sisters to our Duroc barrel, and they're lots 74 and 75. Harley has lot 74, and Allison's got 75. Excuse me. And so their pedigree again would be Triple Threat Creation. They're out of that really good Hannah Slate sow that we think is going to be a good start for our red program again, and she's done us very good on this first litter. Sire Triple Threat was the champion board expo last year that we thought was really fun, and he was a really powered up kind of deal. We think this pair can be really good. Our CYAE show allows us to show Novembers, so if you're wanting to go to CYE and show a purebred, these would be some really fun ones to do that with. Obviously, the guys in the rest of the world that go to Expo, they are Novembers, and sometimes there's less of them Novembers than there is Decembers, and I'd tell you they'd be pretty good red gilts to take to that deal. So 74 is probably a little prettier. 75 is probably a little bolder ribbed, but we're excited about them.
Yeah, this 74 I think exemplifies and matches the mate bear that we saw earlier from a look, bone, and feature and squareness of build standpoint. I think one that can certainly get a lot of attention and holds a lot of value on that one over there. I think a very, very impressive gill. The other one, maybe just a shot different. Some people like to feed red ones like this over here. A little shorter bodied, a little stouter made, a little bolder bodied, not as just quite as extended and long about their look, but still I think a pair of them here that come with some different value that you can certainly fit into your program.
We've got 16, 72, and 73 have just come in, and pretty fun little group of gilts here. 16 is the calico that Allison's got over there. She's been one that we've kind of keyed in on for a while and been excited about for a while, and what she would be is a heavy hitter outbreak. That outbreak sow is actually out of a wedding night Mandingo, and she was just one of the neatest looking outbreak sows that we've had. And again, Sire here would be heavy hitter, but that gilt just has always kind of had a special look to her. She definitely looks like she needs to grow a little bit slower, but gosh, I think there's a lot of possibilities for those folks that want to show her, that want to show all summer, maybe jackpot for a while and wind up at a state fair or a CYAE type of deal. That lot 16 is no doubt a fun one, and her color pattern, I think, is pretty neat as well. The other two would be 72 and 73, and Harley, which one you have? 72. So Harley's got 72, Jackson's got 73. They are different league, Rusty Cage. So we showed you their mate barrows a little earlier that I think were lots 36 and 37 we were high on. This is a very strong litter of pigs. The 96s were one of the very best litters that they came out of. I think there's one more gilt we still have yet to show you, but study these girls. They're moderate, they're stout, they're good-legged, they're square, they're the right color to get along. They'd certainly fit a variety of scenarios, and if you're looking for a jackpot gilt, check them out.
Yeah, I reiterate on the Calico right there. I think one that's awfully impressive, and from my standpoint, with shows that I judge, I'm a sucker for a good Calico. So if one comes in the ring and looks like that, I'm certainly going to gravitate towards them. I think that one puts all the right parts and pieces together. Study those other two, shorter bodied, more moderate, stout type of gilts that you can do a lot of things with that hold the value in terms of bone and foot and feature and come at you with everything pointing in the right direction. Just depends on how you like them. Study them and pick which one fits your feeding program. But I think a very, very good trio of them out here.
So 77 and 71 have just come in, and 77 is the big girl that Allison's got. 71 is the belt, and 71 would be a mate to those two kind of chromey gilts we just looked at. So she'd be, again, different league. Rusty Cage back on the great up-down 124/8 sow. Pretty fun litter of gilts here, and she's bigger than those others. That's why we ran her with this big girl, because they're all in the same pen, and we put the two kind of bigger ones together. But study her and the way she's going, and if Harley can get her going. We thought this was one of the better gilts in the sale, just from the standpoint of having muscle and bone and looking like she's got some lateness and maturity to her, like she could get along well at a jackpot, but still be her best at kind of big as a big gilt. We thought she's pretty fun. So again, she's different league, Rusty Cage. Then the one that Allison's got over here, she would be, what's her tag number again, Allison? 77. So she's a 95-liter gilt, and she would be a heavy hitter OCD. Her mom is a kind of a first parity OCD sow, really good built. Just good fundamental little sow. Obviously did a great job raising her pigs as fleshy as what this gilt is. But those guys, those of you with earlier shows, you might want to check this one out. She's no doubt one of the bigger ones in the sale. I know she's got some flesh on her. She's in the barn eating and growing. But just imagine that one kind of peeled back a little bit. She's got a great skeleton. She's got good feet and legs. She's square coming and going. This gilt can be pretty good and is probably a little better than what she looks today.
Yeah, that belted one, I mean, holds so much value. Again, another one that I think you just got to study them and think about them, what they look like when they get to 250 to 280 pounds. And I think that one with a woofy body and some depth and flesh is certainly going to be incredible. When you study her skull shape, her forearm, and her build, and her hip length, I think that one right there has got tremendous value and can certainly do a lot of very, very good things for you. This other black-headed one and target rumped one, again, like he said, you peel that one back and just get a little bit of that baby pig feed off of her when you get her by herself and throw her on a self feeder and hand feeder. You can certainly do a lot of things with her. One of those bigger ones that you can show as early and as often as you deem ideal.
So we've got 76 and 78 have just come into the ring here. And Allison has got 76. Allison's the one in the peach-colored shirt. Should be a different league. Hands to yourself. Again, that 93 litter, that hens to yourself sow, we talked about them. Those two hens to yourself sows put at least a dozen pigs in the sale between the two litters, and they've been very, very strong. This thin belted gilt she's got is just a good basic build, good legged gilt. She's heavy structured, good body, just a very nice female. We could not be more excited about this different league deal, and as we begin to breed sows next week, we're going to use him an awful lot. The other gilt again is 78 that Harley's got. She is a slap happy American Spirit. We use slap happy quite a bit also on some of our heavier muscled sows. This one's one of the heavier boned and kind of hairier gilts, if you will, out of that slap happy deal. She's got a big old stout head on her. She's got big limbs, and when you get on either end, she remains square. She's not one to drive real good there, but we've been pretty high on this gilt. We think she can be pretty good. Probably could fit a market hog scenario as well as a gilt scenario, like a CYA type of deal. But again, that one would be 78.
Yeah, that 76, I think, very practical in her build and look, and can do a lot of things with a female like that. It's hard to put a pig together that doesn't have many faults, and you can do a lot of things with and make a lot of things out of, and I think that's the type of female you can certainly do it with. And then this 78 here, that type of head and mug and chest floor is hard to put into one. She comes out very sleek out of her neck. She's good in her blade. She's awesome in her muscle. She's big in her hip, and her bone work is absolutely incredible. I think the ceiling for her could be one that's a feeder's dream if you like to feed them like that.
So it's landrace time. We do have a couple of really nice litters of purebred landraces in the sale, and as we went through them, and Dustin did a good job sorting a set of pigs. He tried to narrow them down as far as the litters, and so these are the best two gilts out of either litter of landraces. So lot 13 is the one that Allison's driving, and then Harley in the white there has got lot 67. And they're both litters are sired by Happy Hour. Happy Hour has kind of been the dominant landrace boar here the last year and a half. We've used him a lot, and he's done a great job as far as adding bone to stuff. But the one Harley's got, again, is lot 67. She's out of the Reserve Champion Landrace Guild at Arizona Nationals 2 years ago. That was a straight white male. Clock's ticking was what her pedigree is. The one Allison's got, again, is lot 13, and she would be Happy Hour Ivory. The Ivory sow has actually kind of been building our herd. We've kept a lot of daughters out of her. I think probably at least one out of every litter. We probably have five daughters of that Ivory sow now. She was actually from Frozen Semen we bought from SGI. She was an Ivory back on some Mayhem Got 'em Zeus is what it was. So some more contemporary landrace genetics. But long story short, here, give us another year or two. That Ivory sow is going to have this landrace herd built pretty good, and you'll see more and more good white ones like these.
Yeah, I think these land races are hard to put together, and this is a prime example of what's trying to be fixed within the breed. If you study these things from a look and crest and just neck length and extension standpoint, these are where you got to have them, and hip length and bone structure. I think those are some key things about this particular breed that may be lacking when you get to some of those shows, and I appreciate these ones for being really, really good there. I love the way that they come out of their blade into the top side of their neck and their skeleton, the tightness to the lower part of their jaw and their throat, but yet still having that bone and feature and look. I think two of them that you could do a lot of things here with.
So we've got 61 and 62 in here, and this pair has really grown on us the last couple days. We had quite a few slap happy litters, and I'd be lying if I didn't tell you this was my favorite litter out of those slap happies. They're the 106 litter. Their mom would be Rowdy Rebound 34-3. She's a young sow that's done a good job through 2 parities, and she always lays down, has a lot of babies. I think she's probably had 30 babies between those 2 parities. Again, the sire here, Slap Happy, boar at Laird's that we used that's just a good basic built, heavy structured kind of boar. You breed to kind of a powerhouse sow, or at least was what our thought process was. And study these gilts when they get out and go. These gilts are very basic and complete, and yet they're stout enough. To be honest, yesterday I thought the one Allison's driving was my favorite one, and then today I thought I liked the one that Harley's driving. So Harley's got 61, by the way, and Allison's got 62. Harley's has got a little bit sharper of a look to her, probably got a little more shape, has a very good skull and chest, and when you get in behind her, her reach and squareness is very good. Allison's is no doubt the bigger body, probably a little sourier looking one. But both of them, I think, fit a scenario of kind of ending up at CYAE or a state fair or like an expo type gilt show thing and being very competitive. And then they're going to bake really good sows. And like I said, that little Rowdy Rebound sow they're out of has had 2 very big litters, done a good job, and made us a good deal of money on as far as putting pigs in pig sales for us. So we're excited about this pair.
Yeah, 2 completely different in their type and kind. The bigger one, obviously, you can show as early and often as you want, but yet I still think holds value to hang on to and end up later into a show, depending on how you want to feed her or where you want to end up with her. I think has all those added extras in terms of body shape, her depth, and just look from the side and proportions is extremely well. The traditional belted one here, if you want to talk about being as impressive as you can get from an upper line standpoint, that particular gilt does it. That's an incredible blade and muscle and hip that you can lay into one that's got a balanced look. You put some flesh onto that gilt and get her a little fat and a little lower protein. I think that one's going to do so many good things. I think a neat pair of gilts here that are out here driving.
So we've got 64 and 65 in the ring here, and the little belted one is 65, and then the one Allison's got, the kind of calico, is 64. And we can talk about 64 first. 64 is 103-4, so she'd be a heavy hitter, American Spirit, 91.5. Like I said, we used a lot of heavy hitter semen for this group of pigs, and he's been one of the more popular sires, and we're pleased with what he's done. He's added a lot of power, and as you can see, this calico that she's driving there is definitely got that. She looks like one that can slow down a bit. She looks like one that can do really well if you want to go to a jackpot and get along, and then bring her slow. And she's probably a pretty fun county fair pig in July. She's probably a pretty fun gilt to wind up at CYA or something like that. Again, she is lot 64. The one Harley's got is lot 65, and I believe she's a Game of Thrones gilt. She's 125.8, so she's Game of Thrones, BR 64 100-4. That 100-4 mama that she's out of is one of our very best young sows. She's a beautiful little female. We've used Game of Thrones quite a bit. We didn't have quite as many litters this time, but continue to be very excited about him, and we think he's the best endgame son out there. Study this one, and it's easy to see. She's got look from the side and bone and hair, and just needs a little time and a good home, and I think that one's going to be fun.
Yeah, this calico's got some wild pieces, body, boldness, a forerib and hip and top side width and power within that gill. I think has so many neat pieces that you can do a lot of things with and comes with all those added advantages. And her appendages are very good in terms of circumference and set and angulation. And then this belted one over here, again, another one that may be just a shot smaller and greener in her maturity pattern, but her look and presence and build is absolutely phenomenal. I think a neat pair of gilts here.
So 63 and 66 are in the ring, and 63 is the crossbred that Allison's got, and 66 is the Chester gilt. And we'll start with Allison's crossbred. She is a heavy hitter wedding night. 109 litter. The 109 litter was one of our very favorite litters throughout the entire set. That wedding night sow, 233.2, is probably established herself as the best wedding night sow that we've had, which we've had a good deal of them. But she's had several litters. I think she's on her 7th or 8th litter, but she's done a great job. We're going to show you this gilt's mate brothers here pretty shortly, and that's probably going to make you like her a lot more. But study her. She's got a big body. She's got a lot of power. She looks like she needs to slow down just a bit, but we think that one can be pretty fun. Again, she is lot 63, heavy hitter wedding night. Then lot 66 is the Chester. She's a pretty fun Chester. We're proud of our Chester program. The mom of her would be 112.6 that raised the champion Chester Barrow at the National Junior Summer Spectacular last year. It was shown by Braden Lancaster. That was a extremely good Chester Barrow. That litter was one of the best Chester litters we've had in quite a while. They were sired by, oh, shoot, I should have. Burner Phone was the sire on those. Sire on this litter this year is Making Waves at Laird's. For those of you that watched some of these sales, there were some Making Wave pigs that sold really well the other night. I'd tell you this one probably fits right in the mix on some of the quality on what you've seen out there, because I wouldn't trade the mom of these for anything Chester-wise. But check her out if you want to go to Expo and be competitive, or anywhere, whether it's here or in the Midwest or whatever. It's a pretty good Chester gilt.
Yeah, that Chester, those Making Waves have been incredible, and every litter I've seen has been really, really good. And like said just a minute ago, a lot of those sold very well over the past few weeks. And I will say that there's already been 2 or 3 baby pigs bought that are in bore studs that are going to go on and make some generation decisions there from a sire standpoint. And these gilts are going to hold nothing but value later on down the road. I think that one exemplifies a lot of quality pieces within that particular breed. This crossbred here, she gets out and gets on the stick and drives. I think one that comes with the right type of width and power. She's short in her body. She's bold in her cage, and she comes with all the width and power that you can want. Now, I think a neat pair out here that holds some values that you can certainly do a lot of things with.
Okay, we've got a couple of Chester Barrows here for you. They are lots 21 and 82. So Jackson's got 21, Allison's got 82, and they're not litter mates, actually. The one that Jackson's got, lot 21, is a mate to the Chester Gilt we just saw. So his pedigree is making waves on the 112.6 sow. So 112.6, like I mentioned earlier, raised the champion Chester Barrel at National Junior Summer Spectacular last year. She also raised a Chester boar we just put in our stud called Bel Air, who's a fresh Prince son that we're very excited about, and he will breed quite a few of our Chester sows here this year. So very good mama behind him. He's definitely expo sized, and what we were talking about earlier today when we were just going through pigs and just remembering we live here in Colusa County where we have a purebred show. He'd be a fun one for that purebred division at Colusa County Fair if someone was ambitious enough to get him bought and get him presented for Colusa. He'd be pretty fun, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a purebred win the Colusa County Fair one year. The right scenario, right judge, right presentation, that one could probably get it done. Lot 82 Chester Barrow that Allison's got over there is out of a different litter. He's out of Making Waves as well. But sire or the dam is a sow out of a boar called Bob that we bought at Duncan a couple years ago that Dustin kind of picked out, and he just said, hey, he just called and said, hey, we got to buy this little Chester Gilt. She's really good. And so we bred her Making Waves, and that's this is what she's had. This is a really big-bodied, growthy Chester deal. He's going to make a very good fair pig at Colusa. He'd also probably be a very nice barrow if you want to go to Expo. And as you can see, he needs to get off the sail bursting out of the chip barn. But heavy-legged, square, good built, got a good design.
Yeah, these Chesters, as you can tell, like last year at Expo and a few other of those shows, those barrows got right into the top of things in the overall drive. And again, to reiterate, the confidence in purebred barrows at these shows to win champion or reserve champion overall, I can't reiterate enough. I've had a lot of families that have shown crosses over the past few years, and it seems like every county fair I go to, purebred ends up winning those deals. They get appreciated so much anymore. And I think that these certainly have the opportunity to bring that to the table. I think all the things are in their favor. Bone, feature, look, and extension. Certainly a pair of them here that you can certainly study and do a lot of things with.
These next three, 22, 79, and 80, and Dustin made the sale order this year, and I was giving him a hard time about putting so many down-eared white pigs in the sale, and he said, they're just good. What am I supposed to do with them? And I said, well, you're right. We do have a bunch of good down-eared white pigs, and sometimes they're a little harder for the county fair people to see because they want black-belted pigs, but Chesters and land races have been a focus here at Ottenwalter Show Pigs and will remain a focus, and we're proud of what we've got. So they're here. We like them. Oftentimes they're good buys. And we have some good, consistent customers in the Midwest that know that what we've got, and will hopefully be watching and get them bought tomorrow. But like I said, the purebred show at Colusa County Fair, do not discount that. These pigs fit that bill really, really well. So again, the tag numbers are 22, 79, and 80. 79 is the one Harley's got. 80's the smallest one, the one that Jackson has, and then 22's over there in the corner that Allison's got. Jackson's lot 80 I thought looked pretty fun, and based on his size, I thought that one could go and show a little bit later. I know there's some bunch of jackpots up in the Northwest that have some breed divisions. He'd be a fun little light OPB or light AOB to take up there, some of them deals. And he could probably show a little bit later and even going into July. These other guys, they probably need to finish in June, 79 and 22. But they're good pigs as well. So they're out of the 117 litter. At least 80 and 79 are. 80's out of the 117 litter, out of the Ivory Sow, and then 79 and 80 and 22 are out of the the straight white male sow that was reserve land race at Arizona Nationals 2 years ago. So good set of land races. Don't miss them, guys.
Yeah, very fun breed. You can do a lot of things with, and they certainly hold value from a look extension standpoint. I think 3 of them that can be different the way that you like to feed them or how you like to position them within your herd or your set that you get ready to feed. 2 of them maybe identify one another and exemplify the same qualities as each one of them that you can do a lot of things with. And then this little one is certainly a very neat one that holds a lot of very good potential. If you just study his rear skeleton and where he's at this stage of the game, that's a long hip, a giant rear leg for that breed that's certainly square and true and comes off of both ends. I think a neat trio here that certainly can be studied.
So these 2 that just came in are lots 33 and 8, and we showed you 8's sisters just a little bit ago, and this 109 litter is my favorite litter of the set. He's got 3 more mates that's going to come in next, and we just didn't want to put 4 out in the ring, but the one Harley's got's 8. The other pig is 33, and talk about Harley's lot 8 first. That's that heavy hitter wedding night. Again, that wedding night mama behind that litter is probably our very best wedding night sow that we've had. She is a wedding night prestige. Very, very good female. And this litter, we've studied 8 and his 3 brothers quite a bit. And what I'd tell you that I think I've learned out of this, studying them anyways, is 8's probably the biggest one and probably the one that needs to show the earliest. So if you're going to Expo, you want a hammer barrow, look at lot 8. If you're going to Colusa County Fair, which is about the same time as Expo, look at lot 8. Lot 8's a very fun pig. He's a heavy hitter. He's a little bit later mature than most of them heavy hitters, but he's got a big chest, a big skull, and big legs. He's a little scared out here in the ring, but study the quality in this pig, and this is how we try to make them, guys. We're pretty excited about this pig. And his mate brothers are a little, they all come in different shapes and sizes, but this litter is special. This is my favorite litter in the entire set. Pretty amped up about this pig. We think he can do a lot of big things on some big stages. And the one that Jackson's got, there's lot 33. He would be a Game of Thrones back on BR64 100-4. Just a good solid litter, and he's a good representation of them. He's a big-bodied barrow, very, very loose skeleton. He's another one that's perfect size for Expo and Colusa County Fair. I know some folks looking for Silver Dollar Fair pigs still, which is in late May here in California. This guy fits the bill really well for that, and he'd certainly be big enough and stout enough to go ahead and be competitive at that deal. And again, he would be 33. So these 2 are lots 8 and 33.
Yeah, that lot 8, there's not much to talk about for where you want to take him to his end point. That's a very good pig. That's got an incredible rear skeleton, the right type of muscle, right type of skull shape, and everything. Does very, very good things within that particular guy. You could beat a dead horse over him. I think there's a lot of positives within that animal. The other individual here, again, another one that's just a shot bigger in his type and kind. He's ready to rock and roll. You can push on that thing, get him ready to go, show him as early as possible. May not have quite as many bells and whistles as the other one within this pair of them, but I still think one that still has a lot of positives. Very, very good set of them here within this pair.
So here's the mates, and maybe in some respects we kind of saved, we're getting toward the end, we kind of saved some of our favorite barrows for last. But like I say, we've been excited about this set of pigs and these heavy hitters, lots 5, 6, and 7. mates to 8 that just went through. These are some of my personal favorites, at least. And like I say, I've studied them in depth the last couple days and just trying to understand them and figure out where their best endpoints are. I like all 4 of them a very good deal. The one that Harley's got is lot 5. The one that Jackson's got is lot 7, and then the one Allison in the peach-colored shirts got over there is lot 6. Just to describe them briefly again, I guess lot 5, the one Harley's got, is moderate and big chested and big skull and big center bodied, and he's big, but he looks like he can be fed later. He is awesome build at the ground. I love his hind leg. I love his front feet and just his look coming at you. He's got a neat color pattern. It's a little different from the left side to the right, and I'm not sure which side I even like better, but that's just a neat pig. Jackson's barrow is lot 7. He's no doubt the smallest and probably the greenest of the 4 mate barrows, but he is so athletic. He can reach and go off both ends of his skeleton. He's got great athleticism, and as well, look ahead of his blade is exceptional. Just a neat pig. He probably could show a little later and maybe be a little stouter. Those guys wanting to go to I know there's a show in Idaho called the Kootenai Classic that has a market endpoint show. That one probably fits the bill for that pretty well. He could go into July and probably be even stouter yet. And then the lot 6 pig that Allison in the peach color shirts got over there may be the steal of the bunch of them. He's probably the I don't know what the right word is. He's the one that you don't just latch onto right off the bat, but study his skeleton and his bone work and just his body. He's probably the hairiest one of them all. Bone work wise, he's one of the stouter ones. He's got a stout old skull on him. His hind leg, it functions very well, and he looks like he can be fed and showed as an older pig. I'm not sure I'm smart enough to tell you which one's the best one. I just know I really like this litter of pigs, and again, these 3 are 5, 6, and 7.
Yeah, fun litter of pigs to study with lots of differences, and I appreciate that within litters because, when they all look the same, it can be really good or just okay, and I think when you got a lot of variation, you can do lots of different things with and kind of get a mold of what some of the positive attributes are and what some of them are going to get when it's all said and done. A group of them here, the 7 is certainly one that may be just a shot greener and skinnier and more immature. But yeah, when you study every single one of his brothers, as you get them all out here, they're stout and burly and ready to rock and roll. That guy's going to get it. Lot 5 and 6, that 6 is one that may just not give you the just most crazy look right out of the gate, as he just doesn't want to drive maybe the best. But he's got so many pieces, and I think when you get right in behind that guy, his rear skeleton is absolutely incredible. That's one of my favorite views on that guy. Just study his hip length, just his hock squareness, and where he sets his feet and legs at the ground. And then that other one, lot number 5, when that thing comes and goes and his look from the side. I think that right there is one intriguing critter that's certainly going to be very popular. I'm a big fan of that one.
So 19 and 32 just came in, and I think these are the last 2 crossbreds we have to show you, and then we've got kind of a fun little exhibit to end the evening. But 19 is the one that Harley's got. That's the belted barrow. 32 is Jackson's black pig there. 19's a fun dude. We've been kind of studying him pretty hard here the last couple days, and this litter, we've showed you his mates. He's got a calico mate sister that's way up in the sale. I think it's like lot 22 or 23. But this is a fun pig. So he's an all-out war Trump train, would be his pedigree. Mama was a first parity gilt. This is her very first litter. Big-bodied, heavy-boned, a little sow that he's out of. And again, sire is All Out War. This litter has made us really want to use All Out War a bunch more. He's got a neat look to him. He's got a very, very stout skull, and yet kind of has that. It's just a look of both extension and stoutness. You get on either end of him and realize how much hair and how much bone he's got from his body cavity to the ground. He's just a neat pig. He looks like you can feed him for a long time. He's got a great color pattern for a show barrow as far as like a light cross division. And if you're wanting to show at a state fair or at CYAE or at a show in July or wherever, this pig probably fits the bill pretty good and is one that just kind of has some excitement about him. The one Jackson's got, Lot 32, is also a neat pig. He's a Game of Thrones. We showed you his mate a little earlier, and he's one that's got a little more grow in him. He's got a big center body. He's got good hair and bone work. You get in behind him and realize he's very athletic. He's one that may get overlooked and may be a really good buy tomorrow. Those Game of Thrones pigs have been feeding really well, and actually a couple of our better barrows that are on feed in the Southwest that we keep getting reports on are sired by Game of Thrones. So we'd have a lot of faith in this guy as well. So again, these are 19 and 32.
Yeah, I think certainly a fun deal when you get him back out here, and I'll just be honest with you. This pig excites me a lot, this number 19, and as soon as he came in, I said, what is that thing? And there's just sometimes as a spectator that certain animals come in and you kind of got to take a step back and just study and break them down because they just kind of put a smile on your face and excite you just a little bit. That's what that pig did to me as soon as he came out of the chute. That thing's head and forearm is absolutely incredible. I love his color pattern. His build and function and rear leg set and bone work is incredible. His body proportions are awesome. There's not much to say about that pig. I'm a pretty big fan of him. I particularly think that pig needs to show later on in life. He doesn't need to show until at least August. I think that thing's got a lot of life in him, but yet you can show him as a 120-pounder. You can show him as a 280-pounder. I think that thing's going to be very, very good. And just a kind of a pair of them here that maybe might take away from the other one here, but yet I still think, again, that other pig holds a lot of value and maybe just needs to be studied outside of looking at the one right next to him because that thing's bone and feature is still very, very good for that type of a pig. His muscle pattern's awesome. He's got a very, very neat look. I think a very good pair of them here within this group.
All right, we just wanted a little comedy to kind of end the night. So like I told you, those last two were the last two crossbreds, and these are purebreds. These are Mishons. If you haven't seen one before, I see kind of folks around ringside with their phones out. So I'm guessing some of them folks have not seen one before. These are Mishon. So the first thing I will tell you is, folks that are watching this, do not buy one of these pigs for a fair because they're not going to do well. And they're not going to make weight unless the fair's next year. But they are neat animals. So we've gotten we've got 4 Mishon sows, and we have 2 boars that are heat check boars, and they are absolutely phenomenal heat check boars. Believe it or not, they're awesome to handle. And they have the pheromones of, it's like 20 times that of a regular pig. And so our sows stand better and function better and do better and breed better for us with those Mishon boars. And then they're easy for us to handle and get around. And so the boar that we're selling is the one Allison's got. And I've never seen a whip put onto a Mishon, but look at how docile they are. They're pretty neat pigs. The females, on the contrary, are very, very productive. They are used for nurse sows, and so what we'll do is we'll add some babies to their litters. We'll let them raise their litters for a little while. and then we'll let them raise some more important crossbred pigs. And we will tell you, we were kind of going on faith on what we'd heard from some breeders, but we've had 4 Mishon litters. We have not had a dead pig on a Mishon sow. They had 14 pigs. The first 3 had 14. I think the 4th one had, 12, Dustin? All alive, all pigs alive and raised, and they do not lay on babies. We put some more babies on them. They did not kill them. They didn't lay on them. They milked them good, and they're just very docile animals. They're interesting because they're not an animal that comes up and wants you to pet them and scratch them, but they're just happy to be there, and they're not scared of you. I mean, you can kind of see how Harley is with that one there. They're just interesting pigs. What their purpose is for us, they've served very, very well. There's a lot of breeders out there that probably are struggling with litter size and getting their sows bred and stuff. Another thing to note, you can look at the female that Harley has. Count the underline that she has. There's at least 8 nipples on either side. That shows you their functionality. The other thing we'll tell you that we're still learning about this breed, but the male these guys are almost 3 months old. He already smells a little bit like a boar. They say that they reach sexual maturity at 3 months old. And so he'd be ready to heat check for you pretty soon, I think. Definitely not show pigs, but we wanted to kind of showcase these. We are going to sell them tomorrow. They're lots 86 and 87. We just hope nobody messes up and buys them for a show pig, but if you're raising pigs, we think they can help you. And I'm really curious to hear what Brendan has to say about these things.
Yeah, it's going to be short and sweet. May not win you a show, but I think you should spend the most of money on them, bid early and bid often, and I think it'd be also really funny if you take them to a show.
The girls did a good job driving them, and we'd like to thank all of our ring help tonight. We had a good preview. Thank you guys for showing up. Just a couple reminders. Excuse me. The sale tomorrow starts at 1 o'clock our time, which is 3 o'clock Central, 4 o'clock Eastern. We have another preview at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. It will not be broadcast. This preview, you can rewatch it, obviously, on our Facebook page or on Taylor's webpage. But tomorrow we have a preview at 10. Tomorrow we will present banners to those kids that won fairs and major shows last year at 12:30. As soon as that's done, it'll be about 1 o'clock. We'll start the auction. So if you have questions about pigs, please reach out to me or Dustin. We've also got Brendan North here. I'm sure he'd be happy to answer questions if you know him, or also Blake Kennedy and Taylor Fort saw the set of pigs as well. So if you know those guys, you want to reach out to them. I don't think they'd probably mind helping you out as well. Thanks again, and we look forward to a good sale tomorrow.